Speaking of which, that brings me to the first topic I have. So, of course, you're the host of the Boys Cast.
Yeah.
Excuse me, coronavirus. Uh, they, but pretty soon there's a new up and coming comedian is about to start her podcast. Hilary Clinton, have you heard of her?
Yeah, I've been following her since she started her career about half a year ago. So I've been saying that this kid's got chops. So
Yeah.
I've been following. Bill has a podcast where he just reads the game over and over again, the pickup book. Bill Clinton has a podcast where it's a pickup artist podcast. So, I mean, Hillary Clinton's podcast, I'm sure, is going to be phenomenal. She has a lot of really great information. It's just a murder podcast on her own murders.
The thing that I can't wait for her is how she crowbars in her, or how she segues into her sponsor. She's like, my husband is innocent of these charges.
Did
But
she
if,
really?
but if you want to someone, you could do it with my sponsor, Blue Chew. But the question I've got is someone like you get the Boys Cast, but does it not ever piss you off the idea that there's people like Hillary Clinton or Conan O'Brien can just decide tomorrow I'm going to do a podcast, and instantly they get a minimum of like $4 million. Like if Will Smith decided to start a podcast tomorrow,
Yeah.
he's going to get on a bad week 10 million downloads, and everybody else is fucked.
I mean, I guess it's hard for me to care about that because I mean that's kind of what I did too. Like I worked in I've had like a bunch of TV shows and I kind of had a following. So when I started my podcast, I didn't start with zero. I didn't start with Will Smith numbers, but I mean, you know what it kind of bothers me is like Conan wouldn't bother me. It bothers me when actors that have nothing to say or a perspective, they've never really been in the business of like cultural commentary. And then you're like at 50, you're like doing it just because you think you should. Like a guy like Conan O'Brien, he's been a broadcaster. So that doesn't really bother me. It's kind of just the new medium of that, right? So a lot of people that have been in the business of communication of some sort, it's less lame. Where Hillary Clinton, you're like, you don't need a podcast, Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
Shut
Well,
up.
but with Conan O'Brien, because if I can name drop, I've had Jim Florentine on the podcast a few times.
He's pretty cool.
Yeah, and when he wasn't changing the subject to talk about anal sex,
he's like a rock and roll guy, eh?
Yeah, he's like, I was trying to talk to him about Guns N' Roses, and all he said was, yeah, Guns N' Roses are good, but that Axl Rose, he must fuck a lot of chicks up the ass. And it's like yeah.
That's a pretty good impression of him, though.
I'll crowbar in loads. Don't worry. I'll just randomly start talking about a subject so that I can go in with the Norm Macdonald and be like, hey, you ever fucking chick in the ass? But with Conan O'Brien, it's like if you can text Tom Hanks, then you don't get to fucking boast about your success as a podcaster because you.
No, you don't. No.
Although
no, hell no.
I did text him the other day and I said, your son's a cunt.
Conan?
Tom Hanks.
Oh, Tom Hanks. The rapper? You don't think his rap lyrics are fire?
I'd rather rap a fucking dead baby in Christmas presents than hear old street talk Chet Hayes, whatever his fucking name is.
Yeah.
Chet.